So let's have a discussion. Discussion that touched some. As you can see the title, we're going to be talking about immigration to Africa for African Americans. Particularly because it seems as if some African nations are attempting to court African Americans or the African diaspora back to Africa. Now, I don't know if these nations are courting African Americans back to Africa for their own self interest, as courting African Americans, arguably the richest group of Africans in the world, in the diaspora. Um, I don't know if it's their selfish like agenda where they want the investment from African Americans, or if there's true passion in a sense of reparations or a sense that all Africans belong in Africa. So it prompted me to look into the issue a little bit deeper. Now, disclaimer, I lived in Africa. I currently operate a business for out of Ghana, West Africa. And I have I adore Ghana to say. I've not visited the entire continent of Africa. In fact, the only country that I've actually visited is Ghana. Um, in the continent of Africa. The only country that I've visited in Africa is Ghana. So I'm speaking from the perspective of someone who's lived in Africa and someone who's lived in Ghana. But during this time in Ghana, I learned quite a bit about other regions. A lot of Nigerians that I met, a lot of Burkinabes, a lot of people from Cote d'Ivoire and Senegal, as Ghana is the second biggest economy in West Africa, next to Nigeria. Very, very booming, boom across is booming. Ghana's booming in general. So I speak from a place of intelligence, a place of knowledge, um, and arguably a very central place of understanding what drives economies and very business centric ideas. So my bias will be business and what's beneficial to like African Americans. So I'm speaking to African Americans, so I'm gonna speak to what I feel is beneficial to African Americans. So in order to answer this question, um, I just wanted to acknowledge those biases. So as we move forward, um, I think we should first answer the question that the question of why we want to move to Africa, or why some want to move to Africa. And in order to understand why we want to move to Africa and to validate whether a move to Africa is valid, is good overall for African Americans, not the individual, but overall, um, we need to consider what Africa offers African Americans. So to open up this point, we're going to dig into a recent BBC article I read. Um, they started something called Afrobarometer that's monitoring like African economic activities and specifically immigration out of Africa. So let's dive into that, review some of this, um, some of the data that they come up with in presenting, assuming that it's valid. All studies have bias, but we're going to operate assuming that the data is valid. And I can tell you that a lot of the data is valid from my personal experience. That don't mean it's truth. That absolutely don't mean it's truth. But my personal experience in Ghana, I can vouch for what this article is reporting. So the BBC presents African immigration. 5 things we've learned about Africa immigration. Now, Africa has a problem that Africa has a brain drain problem. A lot of highly intelligent Africans are leaving Africa. And it's obvious. I mean, you get a doctorate degree, you get a master's degree, um, and you want to utilize the skills that you just learned. And there's not many offerings for jobs in Africa. You go find it someplace else. No difference than somebody from Iowa graduating college and moving to New York, right? Absolutely no difference. Very little opportunity available in some rural areas, so they move to the big city. So no difference there. So you see, more than 1 in 3 Africans have considered immigrating. 1 in 3 Africans considered leaving Africa. Study, continent-wide survey, found that the young and the educated people are more likely than others to want to leave their home country. This is important because during my time in Africa, the happiest people that I've met, the happiest African Americans, foreigners that I met, were not the young and educated. It was the older and retired African Americans who found their place as home. There was a lot of young, active uh, African Americans there, but it tended to be temporary. They arrive, they leave. I was there for a year or two. I left. I went there solely focused on business, opened up what I needed to do, created the change that I needed to create, and left. Um, but that's what it seems to be with African Americans immigrating to Africa. Go for a purpose, you know, get a quick fix of being on the continent, return home. And it also seems that the young and educated people in Ghana at least wants to leave or across the continent. So why do people want to leave? Looking for work and escaping poverty and economic hardship. The biggest factor, 44 and 29. Arguably, you could say looking for work and escaping poverty and economic hardship could be quite possibly lumped into the same category. So we're talking um, 73%, 73% of people want to leave Africa because there's not enough economic opportunity there. So, why would African Americans want to return to Africa when 3/4 of working age individuals would like to leave or consider leaving? Now, we want to leave America, and I understand the desire to escape racism, to escape systematic injustices, right? That desire is strong in our culture. And it's hard to explain to others like Latinos who's escaping Mexico to come to America and live their lives and build their careers. It's a little different because we've been here and we've been oppressed for generations upon generations. And systematically opportunities have been stripped from our culture. Versus if you're new to America and you could take advantage of all the progress that we've made or minorities has made in America after we fought, then you could just reap the benefits. You don't see the thorns on the rose. New immigrants don't realize that we had to have bloody hands to pick that rose. Well, new immigrants can just benefit from the flower, from the petals of the rose. So for African Americans, or Native Americans, people who've been oppressed by this nation, it's hard for us to explain our desire to leave. I mean, Native Americans want to stay; it is their land. But African Americans, it's hard to desire. It's hard to to explain our desire to leave America. Now, our desire to leave America, we have an idea that our life will be better in Africa. That's what we're dealing with right now. That desire. So people who say they're considering immigrating mostly say they want to stay within their region or go somewhere else in Africa. Okay. So what this is saying is that in the United States, it'd be like, oh, I want to leave Houston and move to Dallas, right? Or people want to leave Milwaukee, go to Chicago, leave LA, move to San Francisco, leave Connecticut, or go to New York, and etc. Somewhere in their region, right? Still immigrating, but like West Africa is huge. Southern Africa is huge. Northern Africa is huge, right? So I'm thinking this is what they're referencing the regions in that sense, but also a lot of African countries have regions like specific towns. And often, from my experience on the ground, most people that want to leave Africa, they are first considering a place where they have easy access to. So, considering Nigerians know that they can get to Ghana easy. Ghanaians know they can get to Cote d'Ivoire easy, right? Because of the passport power in the region. So this is not a representation of Africans want to leave, don't want to go to America, don't want to go to Europe. It's Africans believing that it's very easy. I can actually accomplish going to Nigeria because I can easily get a visa. It's not the same with Europe or America. So this is representation of either. So the potential destinations you see North America, within the African region, Europe, other countries elsewhere in Africa, right? So um, North America, it says within African region. I'm gonna say this is a bias within African regions. A lot of people want to go to America but don't believe or want to go to America or Europe or like Canada. Canada is a very very hot place as well. Um, is when they, a lot of people who want to go to Nigeria or Senegal or places that seem to be growing, or South Africa. There's a lot of South Africans in Ghana. There's a lot of Ghanaians and South Africans. People who doing that push and pull, um, or immigrating in that sense. They are immigrating to those countries because they might think it's hard to immigrate to North America and Europe. So this number is screwed, right? Most likely to leave 12 to 25. Um, of course, young, under 35, educated, of course, looking for jobs and etc. Which country people are wanting to leave most? Come down to Zimbabwe, hyperinflation is there. Of course, the more poverty there is, the more they want to leave. So this is what I was talking about earlier. What barriers to travel do people face? Freedom of movement across international borders within the local region should become a reality. 56% of survey respondents have told Afrobarometer. Um, okay, while the majority of Africans want free cross-border movement, 56% say that in fact it is difficult or very difficult to cross international borders in their region in order to work or trade. Yes. So here, right? This is what I was saying earlier. People people believe that it's easier to. They're saying that it's hard to cross international borders, but like people believe that it's easier to go from Ghana to Cote d'Ivoire, right, or the Ivory Coast, or Ghana to Nigeria, and they're saying that's more difficult um, than it should be. But it's much more difficult to go from Ghana to um, to Europe. Land travel is possible between Ghana and Nigeria. Land, land travel to from Ghana to Europe, although it's physically possible, it's not a route that's taken often. So, recent will Namibia, Ghana, Rwanda, Benin, Kenya loosened travel restrictions for other African nations and now grant a visa on arrival, allowing for visits 90-day visa passport. So this is important because Ghana has a lot of different um, ethnicities there. Now, let's get down to the bread and butter, right? If if we know that Africans are leaving Africa, what is our desire to go? So most go because there's a sense that America or there's a sense that Europe is not their home. It's not our home. And because there's this sense that America is not our home, um, we are always searching for a home. And people like Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey has made it seem that Africa is our home. Africa is our ethnic background. But let's describe what is a home. You want to feel safe and comfortable and treated well in your home. And I can tell you without undoubtedly that African Americans, even the ones that was happy, did not feel as if they were equal to locals. Because as we escape racism in America, we have to realize that the foundation of systematic racism now in America is capitalism. It is the excuse to let's take something that's systematic racism of like food deserts, right? Let's talk about food deserts for just a brief. Food deserts are pockets of America where there is no major supermarket within a certain radius, and therefore a lot of people have to travel outside that radius, or they will have to like buy food from Family Dollars and Walgreens and like these mini shops. The prices are inflated. Why aren't there supermarkets? We live in a world with abundance of money, abundance of capitals looking to open up a grocery store where they deem as profitable. Now, certain areas in America isn't profitable to have a food market or supermarket in the same using the same logistics and the same marketing techniques that they use for their national brands. So therefore, because there's no profit in it, they refuse to open up grocery stores in specific areas. This is capitalism, or this is systematic racism disguised, disguised as capitalism. So let's put that. So capitalism. Now, I've mentioned this because a lot of African countries are embracing that as well. A lot of African countries are embracing systematic capitalism, where the person with the money wins. China is all over West Africa building ports. They are opening malls. They are doing all of these things because they have money. So, as we consider where we seek to plant roots and call our home, let's think about why America isn't ideal. Because no matter where we go right now, capitalism is running the world. And as long as there's capitalism, there would be a group of people who gets the short end of the stick. It doesn't matter your color in Africa or in West Africa, where majority of people are dark skinned or brown at least. Doesn't matter that color. Because there's groups of tribes who get the short end of the stick. And they are, and it's a tribe, and then there's, um, there's tribal issues. There's tribes that feel like they've been treated unfairly. There's tribes who's known for being, people think that tribes are thieves. There's tribes who the girls are known for being hypersexual, or the women are considered, hypersexual and unmarriable, or they're not wife material. Um, yeah, so there are those issues there. So as we consider leaving America, I think first we need to consider what we need in the place that we can call home. We need business opportunities. We need employment opportunities. We need safety. Right? We need the ability to be creative and grow and mean something. If you're still working class young person, if you are still um, um, if you still have goals and dreams, things that you want to accomplish with your career, unless that's focused on Africa, you can will probably be it'll probably be easier to achieve that someplace else, unless there's some type of competitive advantage with Africa. Now, if you're retired, you're getting close to retirement, or you're working online, and you're just ready to roll out and relax and get peace, just peace. You're not worried about economies because your money's coming from elsewhere. You're not worried about security because, like, you're in a country like Ghana where there's no civil wars happening. I get it. But if you have goals and dreams and passion and embraces technology and need fast internet and access to a wide variety of foods, maybe, maybe Africa should just be a vacation. You can go as many times as you want. But when you get on the continent of Africa, be prepared. Be prepared to be in a place where a lot of people are unemployed, where your options of food is limited. Now you can be the change maker who provide employment. You can be the change maker who opens that supermarket. You can be that person. But as I said before, if you're not that person, if you have no direct benefit of going to Africa, or being on the African soil, maybe consider someplace else. Because at some point, we have to realize that we are escaping racism. That's what's being escaped. We are escaping racism. That doesn't mean we have to run to Africa. Because there's places in Europe where racism is heavily shunned. And if you're able to produce for a country, they don't care who you are. Panama, divisive, but Panama, heavily black. The entire Caribbean coast, heavily black. The islands, heavily black. Lots of racism there. But you're going to face a lot of the same barriers in these places. In the Caribbean, where it's a lot of black folks, you're going to face a lot of that. A lot of the same issues you'll face in the islands, you'll face in Africa. So think about that. Think about what you're running from. Think about where you're trying to run to. And if you still decide to immigrate to Africa, I wish you well. I wish you the best. If you go to Ghana, you'll probably eventually meet me because I am often there. I was often there. Now that COVID's coming to a slow end, I'll be back there. Um, Look me up. Hope you have fun. Hope this helped you think about your desire to leave America and the opportunities that America has to offer. Um, and help you think about where you actually want to go, right? And put Europe on there, or maybe even put a really black city on there, like Atlanta. Right? Maybe you just need to move to another part of town. Maybe you need a better friend circle because you can move mentally, still be in the same place. So, hope I was useful. Hey, remember to like and subscribe. Um, Let me know about. Put some comments in the comment area. Let me know how you feel. Give me some insight. Maybe I'm missing something. Try to be as free. I'll respond to the comments. Um, like and subscribe if you want to be the first to know when I post my next video. And until next time, peace and love, guys. Enjoy.